Welcome back to Chaos Corner. It's your old buddy, the Guardian of Chaos, and I tell it like it is. Here to review Night 12, Round 1 of Avi Klein's 64-person single elimination bracket-style tournament to determine not only who's going on to Round 2, but also to ultimately host the Green Room. Now, we just left the Serene Room and the relaunch of Miranda Tiffany's new show in the Dark Castle. So we're here now, and we're entering into the third winner's circle of the night of Night 12, Round 1 of the Green Room tournament, because you know that everybody wants to be in the Green Room. Stars from TV, film, movies, entertainment, music, sports. I say it in every segment. And yeah, so there's a little stumble in every segment, but that's what you get because this is Chaos Corner. It's live to tape. It's raw. It's unedited. It's unscripted. There's nobody that goes back. It's live. I don't edit any of this. I have some notes, and you go out there, you watch it, and if you do your due diligence and your homework, you know how to put on a show and perform in front of people. Whether it's 1 or over 1 million, like we have every Saturday night live on the Green Room, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. As we roll on, before we get on to this Saturday night, August 7th, for Night 13. We're back in the winner's circle for the third time. And it's Mr. Davis Jubilee, the Southern aristocrat, if you will. And it's unbelievable. And Pete is back with Avi, and he's looking stressed. And boy, I tell you, Miranda is expensive. I'll say that to say this. Rich is back, too, to talk with Pete. So what's going on here? We were supposed to go to Davis Jubilee, but everybody's back. Avi, well, it is his Dark Castle. It's his Green Room. Rich Masadi is back again. You own the night, Masadi. You know that, right? Pete is back, and he's becoming quite the performer. Not only is he involved in all kinds of things, from going golfing with Davis Jubilee to now giving $2,500 to Miranda in a Serene Room somewhere in the past, different role plays and performances, and he's the ultimate judge. And he reset this whole thing on May 8th. And caused a lot of problems, and the blood will be on your hands someday, Pete. You want apologies from everybody and from the fans? I don't think it's going to happen. And then we know what happened to R.G. James, your battle buddy, and what's potentially going to happen with the Legion, Eric Heron. I have no use for you right now, Heron. So you do you. And if I was Pete, just like James, Hauser Odolak, I would be worried about the Legion, because you're not the Guardian of Chaos. You should worry, but I'll give Pete credit. He's got cojones. Are your peaches fuzzy, Pete? You got grapefruits, huh? You really do. I'll give you credit for that. I will say that. So they're all back on screen. Now, obviously, he's having issues with Pete. They've been having issues for quite some time here. I don't know what's going on. It'll all be revealed sooner or later. You know, and Rich is humble, and he comes out with certain things, and he says, you know, you're doing a great job to Pete. You know, at first I thought you were a suit. I wasn't so sure. And maybe this is where Pete gets defensive and butthurt and rubbed the wrong way. You better have thick skin in this industry, Pete. In the Green Room, in the Dark Castle. I don't know what you're doing. You're holding your own with the shine, but you're making some missteps, and you're supposed to be the leader of this ship. Avi's the captain. You're his first mate. Yin Yang? Is that what I'm thinking here? So that's what we're talking about. And they start talking about the battle buddies of R.G. James once again and Pete. Rich does admit that he has no complaints, but he's sorry for the way he acts and the way he acted and the whole segment with Bill DeMott. Pete says thank you. He actually says thank you for the talk. And it's kind of crazy where it was going. And these guys bounced in and bounced out all night. David, Rich, Pete, Avi. And then we'll get to the votes during the actual matches, which we're going to cover. And we're going to break down each and every segment here. You're going to see everybody was involved, and this is what the Green Room is. It's so interactive. So we get on to the video montage. Once again, I'll refer to them in every segment for Davis Jubilee. And then you know who his guest is. Davis Jubilee has had some unbelievable people in the winner's circle. He's already had the world's strongest man in Mark Henry, who is now all elite from SiriusXM. It was unbelievable. He's not the best interviewer, Davis Jubilee. I don't know how he earned that segment. He can barely remember his name. He reminds me of my grandfather eating ice cream. I don't know if I like that visual. But you know who his guest is, and I'll give him credit. I'll give Avi credit. I don't know if he books him. I don't know what happens. Revenge of the Nerds, one of my all-time favorites. A movie that's in my top classics, the trilogy, the whole 9 yards. And this person was an unbelievable child actor and has lived his whole life on the big screen, film, TV, and movies. And he's embroiled in a bitter feud right now. A respectful, mutual respect feud with one Michael Winslow from Police Academy fame. And that would be Andrew Cassase. That's right. Wormser is in the winner's circle. And not because he's a winner, but because he had something to say and he had something to prove. And Avi provided the platform of the winner's circle for one of the most renowned members of Revenge of the Nerds. With Carradine, Curtis Armstrong, the whole Donald Gibbs, the whole 9 yards. What movies, Revenge of the Nerds, and then what Cassase has going on to do, and then his competition against Winslow. It's still coming up. They're tied 1-1. One of them's going home. Michael Winslow, Andrew Cassase has shown up at the winner's circle. So Andrew talks about his opponent and Michael Winslow. Unbelievable performer, unbelievable improv person, perhaps one of the best in the industry, in the history of the industry. He talks about his respect and how he was caught off guard, Andrew says. He had no chance to prepare. And he's down 1-0. I stand mistaken, because Avi will get back to me and Jay Brony and say, well, you got that part wrong. You got this. Because at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when you're all sleeping, Avi Klein is watching Chaos Corner, coming to a TV network near you. Count on it. So Andrew Cassase goes on to say he wasn't really prepared for the trivia and improv. Well, none of us are, Andrew. With all due respect, you're the elite of Hollywood and movies and a real down-to-earth person. I can really connect, and you're a relatable guy. But let's face it, none of us know. We're all equals here in the green room, although a lot of people don't want to see it that way. So Davis Jubilee rumbles and stumbles through the conversation, the interview. He doesn't do conversations. Avi does conversations. He's trying to do whatever. He's sucking on the corn cob pipe and whatever people are trying to allude to that David Holliday and Davis Jubilee look alike, or they're related, or they're another one's brother from another mother, another cousin, second father. I don't care about any of that. So Andrew Cassase goes on and he admits that he has to step it up against Michael Winslow. That he's down 1-0, as I corrected myself. Andrew Cassase from Revenge of the Nerds is down 1-0. Worms is down 1-0 to Michael Winslow. What was Michael Winslow's name in Police Academy? Can anybody guess? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Put it in the comments section on this segment. Stay with me here, because we are in the winner's circle for the 3rd time on night 12 with Andrew Cassase. Unbelievable. So we go on with Davis Jubilee. I smell fried chicken and biscuits and corn grits and gravy and bourbon and a little mint julep. I mean, I don't know. Davis Jubilee has that effect on people, and he has that telescope in his living room or his den. I wonder if he's like a peeping Davis Jubilee. We already know that Dahlia kicked him to the curb because he didn't have any Cialis. And, Alex came in, and gave her the rub. I'm just saying. So we go on to the conversation. I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly from the winner's circle the 3rd time on night 12 with Davis Jubilee and Andrew Cassase. Here's the conversation. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Davis talks about the Bible, Abe Lincoln, and asks Napoleon Bonaparte, Winston Churchill. He goes back to the Civil War. I don't know what he's talking about. But you did see. Well, you're going to see what happened later on. You're not going to want to miss it. So he asks Andrew, what will you do? Now, Andrew Cassase says he's not opposed to bringing up ideas to create a forum. I mean, he's really for it. A platform to talk about good for those who matter. He's a part of this thing, Andrew says. He loves what's going on and what Avi's doing. The ideas, as I said, the creative flow, the platform to talk about, really, if you think about it, Andrew hits it home. things that matter, entertainment, all of it combined into one. It really was a poignant statement by Andrew. I don't know how he could talk to Davis. And Davis says, you must squash Michael Winslow. Now, I don't know if that was the voice that David Jubilee used, but he said, you must squash Michael Winslow. Andrew says, he's the ultimate adversary, and I welcome it. And Davis Jubilee says, dig deep, Andrew. Dig deep, Andrew, with the corncob pipe in his mouth. And that's why I'm stumbling here. Avi comes in and he says, well, how do you feel about the talent if you advance? Avi always comes in to save the conversation or the interview. So Avi comes in and asks Andrew Cassase that question. Andrew says he has to focus on Michael. He has to focus on Michael Winslow. We know all about Michael's resume and who he is, not just Police Academy. And then he brings up the names that are coming over the next couple of weekends. August 7th for night 13, August 14th to be announced, to be determined as the finale, the extravaganza, night 14 of round 1 leading into round 2. Maybe John Goodman, Will Dafoe, Sally Kirkland, Antonio Banderas, George Wendt. It could be anybody. Those are the names that you're dealing with here on the Green Room. Those are the people that we're performing with for you in this unbelievable forum and platform. So Avi says, do you look friendly at the role of Wormser over all these years from Revenge of the Nerds and the trilogy and going on? I thought that was a great character and a great role. When I get out of Chaos Corner, I'm going to go watch Revenge of the Nerds. Andrew says, and I could imagine, because I've even seen the documentaries on A&E, and the stories behind the scene. Andrew said it was the time of his life. He looks fondly at it. It was amazing. The great memories, the cast. He said it's unbelievable what he really went through for Revenge of the Nerds. He said it was incredible and he'll never forget it. The time of his life. I really related to that. And Davis comes in and says, harness your talent. Be a beast, man, a beast. Davis Jubilee, night 12. The winner's circle with Andrew Cassase as we roll on with night 12, the review here from Chaos Corner. So as we go on with Davis Jubilee and Andrew Cassase and Avi is on screen, Avi asks, which challenges in this competition do you prefer? That's a tough question for any of the competitors. And Andrew says that he thinks he needs to step up his improv after being caught off guard by Michael Winslow. And he talks to Davis Jubilee about experience. And he says, Davis, what are you, 300 years old? But what Andrew really does is he praises the Green Room and the competitors and the performers and Avi Klein and the project. And to hear the words come out of Andrew Cassase's mouth, someone so well-respected and well-bred and well-worked in this industry, entertainment, to hear him say how proud he is and to praise this project in the Green Room. Stay tuned, fans. You're not going to want to miss this. So Davis says to Avi, that's how you do an interview, referring to David Holliday and Rich Masadi. Maybe we'll get a bowl of jambalaya, he says to Avi Klein. So an interesting segment, to say the least. Andrew really brought a lot to it. So Avi and Pete come back on, and we're covering night 12, round 1 of the Green Room tournament. And Avi and Pete are back on screen. We just left Davis Jubilee and Andrew Cassase, and we're going into the matchups. And what's on tap? The three-way dance, the round-robin match between Howard Collado, Green Room original, who's had all his mystery opponents disappear, against not only one, but 2 mystery opponents coming up next here on Chaos Corner. Don't go anywhere as we roll on for the Green Room tournament.